Okay, hello everyone. This is Mano Behera joining you from Chicago. I'm glad to be speaking to you all today. Just a couple of quick housekeeping things. Just want to make sure everybody is able to hear me and see the slide on the screen that says Restaurant Digital Marketing. If you're able to hear me and see that, please confirm in the chat area. I see a couple of people have already joined in. Please introduce yourself so I have a chance to see who is joining in the chat area. And also, when you have a moment, please confirm that you're able to hear me and as well as see the slide on the screen. Great. I just want to also mention that there is a slight delay between the chat and the screen, so we'll have to reconcile with that. So anything you say, I say, was probably a little delayed and would reach between 15 to 30 seconds, which I believe. So we will have to be aware of that. And as soon as you are able to confirm, we shall get started here. While we wait here to get the confirmation and get our house in order, probably take a quick minute there. Please take a moment to share it and tweet it. Somebody else might benefit from the topic we are covering today. I just need a yay on the chat area so that we can get rolling. So let me type in there. Able to see and hear me. Okay, I'm going to make an assumption here that you are able to see and hear me because I have a test window as well. So I'm going to get started because I know people are online and want to be respectful for your time, and it's already a few minutes past the hour. So I'm going to get rolling, and we'll see if there is any issues. Then I'll stop and attend to it. Okay, good. Again, this is Mano Behera. Welcome, everyone. Glad you're able to join us on this webinar. Today, the agenda is I'm going to be revealing some restaurant marketing strategies. And within those strategies, I'm going to be sharing how you can leverage digital marketing and digital technologies. I would be hanging out a bit longer, but stick around for the next 60 minutes is what we plan right now. And I will be sharing a lot of good information. We will have some QA at the end, and but if you do have any questions, I would encourage you to drop them in the chat box, ask your questions, and I'll address it along the way and as we go along. So having said that, please, there will be a lot of information covered. So if you do have a pen and pad to jot down some notes, that will be great. But I do intend to share a replay after this session is over, so you can refer back, and in case there's a conflict of time with those who couldn't attend, that will be great as well. So with that, I'm just going to get rolling here. Good. So first question is, who is this webinar for? And basically, if you are a restaurant owner, either just opened a new restaurant or running a business for quite some time, 5, 10, 20 years, either looking to establish or grow the business, then the information I share and the digital strategies I'm going to share with you, you'll be able to use that and effectively leverage it. So please stick around. If you are a restaurant manager and maybe if you're looking at competition and the kind of things they're doing, especially with the big chain competition, and you're wondering how you could do similar or get similar effectiveness, so stick around. I will be able to show you how you can smartly reach and engage with your customers using the digital platform. Again, if you're in marketing or in operations and dealing with an ad budget, or interested in the metrics and the performance branding all these things are important to you. So some of this information I'm going to be sharing, you would be able to take advantage. Okay, so in a nutshell, if growing the restaurant business is of interest to you in any way, shape, or form, you'll find the next 60 minutes very, very informative. Okay, well, let me ask you, for those of you who are on the webinar, what is your number one goal as it relates to digital marketing? Please mention in the chat box. Is it revenue growth, expanding to a new segment, brand awareness, competition, growing the check, driving more traffic? So what is your number one goal? I'd like to get a sense from you. And of course, there's a delay. So I'm going to go ahead and hopefully your answers pop up. Okay. And then the next question I have for you is, what is your current state of digital? And please mention 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One with no presence, possibly because you're just getting started with your restaurant, or for whatever reason, or you have an 2 is online presence, 3 is you have some level of engagement, number 4 you do have a strategy to attract new traffic, and number 5 is you do have a retain program, mostly in the form of a loyalty program or so. So please mention 1 to 5 so I have a sense of who I'm talking to today. Okay, so great. Before we dive into the strategies, I would like to kind of give a quick intro about me. And I see that the screen is about to load here. It'll probably take a quick second here. Let me see. I'm having a challenge here. The screen is loading. Okay. Let's see what I can do. I'm having a little bit of internet issues, so pardon with me as I make sure that my presentation is loading here. Nope. Technology is great when it works. Well, this is an internet issue, and I think there's a temporary glitch, and that is the reason why the presentation is not loading. Well, I have to restart again. Give me a second, and we should be able to restart the presentation in one quick second. Present, a new window. Okay, I'm back on. Okay. The good news is the 2 slides that talks about me is not loading, right? Sorry, that's the bad news. The good news is the rest of the slides is loading. So I can just talk a little bit about me and just continue on to the. I was just going to say is, basically come from a restaurant's background, or working with technology, investment, and strategy. And as I was working with, I actually worked for McDonald Corporation. So as I was doing that, and I actually led the technology strategy team um, with them. I was observed that many independent restaurants, right, who owned restaurants around the country, right? So they were working hard and running the business, but they were trying to grow the business. They were either not leveraging digital and or doing it poorly. So speaking of digital, I realized that there's one big mistake that many restaurants were doing with their digital. And I think it was, the way I put it, is a shot in the dark approach to digital, where it was a mismatch of putting together various things, and really picking up every shining object, resulting in a very disintegrated set of things, and definitely not being aligned to the business goals, or not really help drive the business growth. So um, so basically it was not, they were not leveraging the digital effectively due to either the expertise or the budget or the approach itself. Now I observed that, being in strategy, many of the companies like large companies, Starbucks, Panera, and the McDonald's, digital, has been their number one priority. Literally investing millions towards implementing digital in restaurants. But then, the smaller restaurants were not really leveraging digital strategy. But there is one thing, which smaller businesses and independent restaurants have, which is very encouraging, because of their size, right? Either be the independent one, or 3 or 10 or less than 20, because of the size, they can be nimble and can be agile. So with small businesses, just by the fact of their size, they can make decisions quicker. They can actually try, fail, and adjust various strategies in a much faster cycle, and they can create and align the digital plans to the business goals much quicker, right? So, coming from the corporate world with McDonald's and other companies, typical planning cycles were annual and multi-year projects, and transformation initiatives typically lasting 5+ years. Now, with small businesses, can actually have 90-day plans and really move the needle and make things happen, right? So I decided to get involved in the small businesses, with having an entrepreneurial mind, and looking at the challenges in this industry. So in 2014, I founded the company, The Digital Restaurant, with the sole focus of working with the restaurants and helping restaurants succeed leveraging digital marketing. Okay. So you should see a slide back on right now. The last 2 slides, for whatever reason, were not loading. But these were some of the things, as I talked to restaurant owners and some of our current clients as well. These are the things I was hearing, right? We want to bring more people to our restaurants, right? We want to reach more people with marketing, and then some put it really straight when asked, what are the biggest challenge, more butts and seats, right? And then, same thing was echoed in the, the NRA show. Some of the trends in the industry, people are snacking more, formal dining is slowly declining. So too many empty seats, but not enough posteriors, right? One of our clients, I don't know, when I was initially talking to them, they were considering closing on Mondays. He had tried filling the empty tables, on slow nights, specifically the Monday and Tuesday nights, and really they were trying to make a decision whether they maybe should close the Monday nights, right? And then things like another restaurant owner who I talked to, when I asked him a simple question, how is your digital marketing working? And this is the response I got. He said very candidly, you see hits, impressions and likes mean squat. I do not know if that means anything to grow the business. And even if it does, and maybe it does, I cannot tell for sure. So this particular gentleman had no idea that if digital marketing is working for him, and if it is working, where, right? So I understand the challenges, right? So I totally, and we keep on, as I keep on talking, I have a new level of appreciation, because on one hand, very dedicated, to the business, but I do understand the challenges of trying to make digital work, right? So today we will address some of these problems and take a look at digital marketing, how it can help some of these challenges, right? So I haven't seen any response in the chat area. So I would love to get what is your number one goal as far as digital is concerned? Do you see any of these things? Are these your concerns? And so that kind of helps us drive the discussion. But so what we were seeing essentially is one of the things from this feedback is, okay, if I were to boil it down, one of the things is how do we attract new diners, right? So it's almost like one of the problems, and we were asked to, okay, all right, we want to attract new diners. How can digital marketing help us? Okay, so I'd love to hear if this would be of interest, or if this would concern you, right? Please say yes, no, maybe something else. That way I have a feedback there. Okay, so how do we attract new diners? Now let's take a look at a digital strategy called Capture and Convert. Okay, and I just want to set it up that behind every digital strategy are either sub strategies or specific tactics and steps to implement the strategy, right? So we're talking about Capture and Convert, and this has been working great with our clients who are in a situation where they have a restaurant website, they have done some SEO, basic SEO setup in the past, and they're either set up on local directories like Yelp or Yellow Pages and other local directories. And in a nutshell, the restaurant has a decent amount of online traffic, right? So they're getting some traffic, but really that has not yet helped drive the business, as the gentleman talked about, right? The likes and share and impressions. He didn't understand what that actually meant to him, right? They were on Facebook, people are liking them, there's some traffic coming, but is it really putting a dent into the business and revenues, right? So we will talk about that. Okay, so first things, the specific tactics, right? So within the strategy, the first step is, if you have a website, to put up an email sign-up form, because we're going to capture this, right? So email pop-ups, various people have various opinions about email pop-ups, but the numbers tell that they work, right? So add an email pop-up to the website to capture the email address, right? And then we talk about giving something like a free giveaway, to or called the ethical bribe, in other words, so that giving them an incentive for them to give their email address for something they value, right? And what it could be, the obvious thing you have seen, there is, the free coupons and the free recipes or PDFs and some giveaway, right? So, so this is the first one tactic is, if you have a website, is to really put this in place, a form and a pop-up email with an incentive to do that, right? But here is the revelation, if you will, right? So today, about 70% of mobile our visitors to your website are from mobile devices. 70%, that's a majority, right? So till now, most people approach, their strategy has been, okay, we have a mobile responsive website, and I'm just going to show you why that is not enough, right? So hang with me here. So mobile visitors, 70%, 7 out of 10. Now let me show you, what this looks like. Now this is for one of our clients, the Google Analytics, and over the last 30 days, I believe, 30 days or maybe 2 weeks. But if you look at the split here, 63.63% on a mobile device, and then 9.2% on a tablet. So if you combine both of them on a small screen device, it is 72% of the traffic coming to the restaurant website is from a small screen device or a mobile device, right? So this is a big portions, and this particular client actually was neglecting they had a mobile responsive site. So let me show you, why this strategy is so important. Mobile conversion. So how can we have mobile visitors become dining guests is the question, right? So they're visiting and and online ordering. So let me show you, right? So let's walk through here. So this is a restaurant website that looks it looks like this on a desktop, right? Now the next step is mobile responsive version of the same website, right? Looks like this. Well, it looks good, but not so good for conversion, right? And this restaurant has online ordering, reservations, but it's very difficult for users to get to what they need, right? So when we came in, we actually recommended a mobile app. But so this is so let's take a step back. So we need to take a look at a mobile visitor, right? What do they want from a restaurant? Why are they looking for the restaurant information? Either they want information on the hours, location, or menu, or they want to order the food because they're hungry, or they want to make a reservation, or they're looking for deals. And if they are a repeat customer, they're possibly looking for rewards, right? So this is a mobile app which is an integrated app for ordering, rewards, and reserve, right? So A or B, the answer is obvious, and it is the right side. B, the mobile app converts better than the mobile responsive app, right? Then there is one more thing as well, right? So when you look at mobile apps, you must be aware of what is called a native app. Native apps are those which you have to visit an app store, a Google Play Store, to download the app. Now, how many times, I don't know if it has happened to you, but I know I have experienced this. Sometimes you have abandoned going to an app store, especially on your first visit to any website, right? Now, specifically for restaurant, imagine I'm hungry and I want to order, and that's why I'm looking for information about a restaurant to possibly see the menu, or to go and dine. Now, if I'm asked to go to a app store to download an app, right, it's kind of like you lost me, right? So on the right, if you see, the mobile app is really what is HTML5. Don't want to get into technical details, but basically when you're looking for the restaurant URL, either from the search, or if you're directly typing the restaurant URL, you are in the app. So it's the same URL. It's a seamless experience. And then after a few seconds, and if you see on the screen, a bubble prompts you to add to the home screen, and then lo and behold, you actually have the app on your phone without having to go to any app store. Okay, so why is it so? There are a couple of things that you see that it's very easy, and it's a seamless experience for the mobile visitor, and you're helping them capture them through the ordering or the reservations. Okay, so this is something we actually developed this solution for a few of our clients. Actually, as you are developing this, we realized that there are multiple apps, one for loyalty, one for ordering, one for the mobile version of the website, and it was getting defragmented. So we actually developed this proprietary solution. I call it proprietary, but this was a custom solution we developed for our restaurant, and we make it available. So it's easy. It's not easy to develop, easy to maintain, easy for use by the customers, and we don't eliminating all the hassles of publishing to an app store and keeping them updated, and not to mention the high cost of developing native apps. Okay, and this has been developed on the digital marketing platform. We will talk about that a little later. So this is one of the strategies of how you can augment your restaurant website with a mobile app, and then capture and convert a lot of online visitors. Now, how does this look like? Okay, so let's look at this case study. So we actually had a client of ours go live on August 1st, right? So about what is it? About 3 weeks, little over 3 weeks ago. And so they had the website updated, they added online ordering, they had custom loyalty rewards program, reservation, and then have a mobile app added. And then we added the promotions, and created some specials. So all these things were there. And here are the results, right? Now, this website has been live for less than 30 days. So today is the 24th, so literally 24 days. And these are the impressive results, and I call it impressive because with just a traffic of about 1,000 visitors, so 1,141 visitors, the bounce rate is 49%. And I'm sure we will do much better as we go on. But here is what is so exciting. We captured 116 email addresses from this website. There have been 85 online orders with an average check of about $28. The total is about $23.75. Now, this is not including the Grubhub and Eat24 orders, right? And so when you look at the percentage of conversion, the converting traffic to email list is roughly around 10%. And then converting from traffic to online orders is about 7.4%, right? So, when you refer back to the gentleman talking about I don't know, impressions and likes and mean squat, okay, it actually is now you can quantify and show that it actually translates into traffic and orders and revenues into the restaurant. Okay, here is another interesting thing that happened with this particular client. Monday was the slowest night, and if you look today, Monday is their busiest night. Okay, and of the week, more busier than Fridays and Saturdays, and raising their revenues from about $300 per day on that Monday to about $1,800 to $1,900, close to $1,900. And and to be totally transparent, this cannot be totally attributed to the digital channel, but they had already started a Monday Madness through the print ads, and then the digital promotions through this mobile app, their website, just amplified the promotion, and kind of took off around this time. So so this is pretty exciting to see Monday being the busiest day of the week, even better than Fridays and Saturdays. So see, this is the power of what you could do by leveraging digital channels and really choosing the right strategy and the tactics to come together and working as an integrated strategy. Okay. This is what one of our clients had to say. Is digital marketing services has been a great help for us. They've done a wonderful job, and they do it quickly and efficiently, right? And so this is what it means to kind of move the needle on the business, and help the local business owners. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, these are some of the additional things, right? So we talked about conversion, right? Now, here's some of the other things we heard around. We would like to increase customer engagement and grow revenue, right? Another restaurant looking to expand our marketing to our membership, and to promote and bring in more revenue. And then this is one of our local clients here in the Chicago area. and I do remember this conversation. We have tried everything. He said everything referring to marketing. It has not worked. And then this restaurant owner wanted to, and they were hoping to bring our revenues back into the pre-recession level, right? So, so these were some of the challenges, right? Again, we heard, and really, if you look in this, it boiled down to, right, how to, engage with customers and drive repeat visits. Okay, so this is, how do you drive engagement, and then they're trying to see if, how to increase engagement with through the social media channels, and doing paper print, trying to repeat visits. So let's look at some of the specific tactics within the strategy, how to do that. Okay, and this strategy is around called integrated email marketing. Okay, and so let's dive into what this entails. Here on the screen, a scenario of filling slow nights, and on the top left corner you see 1,000 email subscribers with an average check of $50, and then we're picking up a slow night and running a promotion any night. And then what we have on the bottom right corner here is the open rate, okay, of 30%, and which is industry average anywhere from 20 to 30%, with a redeem rate of 3%. Okay, so if you do the numbers over there, 30 visits, $50, one promo is about $1,500 a night. So this was our goal to kind of apply to the scenario we were as a goal, right? So what we did is specific tactics. One was one customer database, right? So if you take a look at currently your inventory of your customer information, I'll ask you a question: how many places do you have a customer information? Most likely it is fragmented as a result of different acquisition points over time. So this is one of the first things we do, is really consolidate the customer data into one place, right? So when you look at, and then, make some decisions around, based on the strategy. So when you look at today, feedback cards, mobile app users, Facebook followers, website visitors, online reservations, and then within online reservation, multiple platforms, right? Same thing with online ordering, loyalty rewards, and the e-club, all the customer information is segmented. So the specific tactics here is, and is like, you'd have to make some decisions around replacing services who don't share your customer information, right? And let me give you an example. Replace or have a mitigating strategy, if you will, right? For example, if you use Grubhub, that you do not have the customer emails. Grubhub doesn't share the customer email platforms, whereas the customer emails are really important to you, so that you can market, you can nurture them, and convert in the future, right? So what do you do then? If Grubhub brings in a lot of orders, then you should be asking the question: how do I convert my Grub, or rather know my Grub, these customers, so that I can actually provide an incentive? So there's specific ways to go about it, and I'm not going to recommend one or the other, but starting with the question is, how do I get them into one customer database, is a sound starting point. Okay. Next is knowing your dining guests. And what does that mean? Looking at this customer pyramid, okay, and what it is a scale from the segment being aware of you, to being familiar, to liking you, to loving you, and being loyal. So on the top, you see that the dining customers are on the top, because these are the group of people who have actually taken the pain to travel to come to your store and experience your food, right? And so we want to know this segment, know the dining customers, right? So today, the most common usage, either to use a comment card, or draw a fishbowl, drop your business card and win, right? But if you keep track of the response percent, it's a fraction percent response, very, very minimal, right? Now let me ask you a question: how do you like to have 90% engagement with your dining guests? Right? That would be nice, right? So the way we came up with innovative solution is called a guest engagement tablet. And we developed this solution for a client who was hesitant to kind of ask for email addresses to these comment cards, and you'll see their comment in the end. But so they wanted to get the guest email address, but they were really not comfortable, right? And so we came up with this guest engagement tablet solution, and really just use the dead time, just as the waiting to be seated, waiting for food to be served, and or at the checkout time, to capture the information. And it's a very simple solution. But the interesting thing is we have been getting about 90% email capture rate when presented by the server, right? And all the staff needs to do is really engage with the guest in a fun way by just presenting the tablet. This is a huge opportunity, right? And when you look at that, 80% of your email list is your dining guests. This becomes a very powerful tactic to kind of capture the email addresses and really build your marketing engine. So once we have that, then it comes to really the nurture strategy within the build, nurture, and convert. And really integrate your events calendar, editorial calendar, and the promotions calendar. Okay. And so once you do that, it looks something like this, right? So when you look at your integrated marketing calendar, and by the way, for each of our clients, we do provide integrated marketing calendar template and help them develop that. And so it will look at, and one of the things we advise is the the content to promotions ratio in a 3-to-1 ratio, right? Because we are very aware that now we don't want to have email blindness now, where people are ignoring your emails, right, or not opening. So you have to nurture by providing value, and the value in terms of the content, right? So what you're seeing over here is that just a snippet of the marketing calendar showing the month of June. And as you can see, the events is in yellow. The content, the articles we are sending, things like the barbecue season, honoring the father figures, so you're sharing some really valuable content where people are enjoying reading your emails, right? And then obviously the promos are there, like the July 4th promo, right? So getting this balance right is critical to the nurture strategy. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the results, right? So we kind of talked about quite a few tactics within this email integrated email marketing. So I want to share with you a case study of a client. We helped launch a program, email marketing. So we had the email list growth. We introduced the guest engagement tablets within the location. We set up a custom loyalty program. We developed the integrated marketing calendar and content, and and set up the email campaign. So these are some of the results. So the way, so once we set up over a matter of about 6 to 8 weeks, we are seeing continuously. Then this is organic. We are not even using any ad dollars. So email growth, at the rate of about 8 to 10 per day, and this is all organic, right? And the sign-up rate, as I talked to you, was over 90%. And 90% when presented by the server to the customer. Okay, and then here are some email open rates, the metric we want to track. 40.5%, 30.6% are really good numbers, right? And we sent out an email content during July, end of July. The last two I'm showing over there, Christmas in July article got a 40.5% open rate, which is really good. When you look at the industry averages of 20% to 20 to 30%, right? And so we will continue to nurture this for this client, and we are targeting to reach a 50%. Now that means when we send out an email communication, or when I say we, the restaurant owner or the restaurant manager sends out to the case, they're getting a 40 to 50% open rates. Okay, and when you accomplish that, you have actually established a very responsive channel, if you will, with your customers. Then the sky's the limit, in terms of sending promotions and conversions, right? And in addition to that, we are sending top of mind campaigns. Now it's a little hard to kind of quantify because of the email, how much. Yeah, the reason is, as I said, the top of mind campaigns. People who see your email, right, and there's 40% of the Christmas in July. How many they remembered and they decided to walk in, right? So it's a little hard, and obviously we can do QR code and coupon scanning and all those things. Happy that we are able to establish and get our email just to respond at a higher level, right? So higher engagement. Okay, any questions, please drop in the chat area. I'm going to move on. So here is a client testimonial from a Mexican restaurant. Generally, this Tony says, generally customers feel uncomfortable when asked for their email address using guest feedback cards, but by handing the guest engagement tablet to our customers during checkout, we are seeing much better success, right? So they're able to rapidly build their email list and subsequently send email campaigns. Okay, good. Sorry, going forward. Oops, pressed a few times. Okay, you already saw what you're not supposed to see. Anyways, so so we talked about some of the challenges. Here are some more. We have to cut back on ad revenue, and Groupon has not been profitable. Challenge to keep menu prices updated, online, getting more positive exposure and market penetration, improve Yelp rating, reviews and ratings. And these are some. These are more of the things we have been hearing from you and the restaurant owners, right? So today we discussed various steps and tactics within the two strategies, right? Capture and convert. And I wish we had our covering all these things a lot more time. So capture and convert is what we talked about, and then the integrated email marketing for building, nurturing, and converting is another strategy we talked about, right? So the strategies are only the tip of the iceberg, right? Now we execute many more strategies for each of our client unique needs based on their business goals. So when you leave this webinar, you would have received a lot of great information from me. But if you haven't done this before, it can be a bit overwhelming, right? So is it okay if I show you the fast and easy way to accelerate your success on the restaurant digital marketing? Okay, what I'd like to introduce you is really a digital strategy session. Will guarantee the most effective digital marketing plan for your restaurant. And as you talked about, the scenario is different, and then for each client, the strategy and the tactics could be a little customized, right? So what we do here is within this digital strategy session is this is what you get once you want to have this session is we determine we do a restaurant assessment as the first step, what is working and what's not. And our digital expert really evaluates your business capabilities, conducting a detailed assessment of restaurant systems, and we audit your current and past marketing efforts. We capture data and lessons learned through your operations and feedback received from staff and customers, right? And then the next thing is the from point A to point B, do a SWOT analysis to discover your strength, weaknesses, and threats, analyze your target market, your competition, just to have a clear view of your business positioning. And then we determine the right digital marketing strategy that supports your restaurant business goals. That's the point, going from point A to point B. And then the third step is really developing your digital roadmap, charting the course, lays out the marketing course for your business. And, we prioritize the strategy of establishing, what was established in the business goals, right? So, and then we develop a plan to consolidate the digital services in integrated digital strategy, okay? The keyword is integrated, right? So they are all working together towards the business goal, right? And then the next step, number 4, is the SMART plan, to decide what to start, stop, and continue. We make recommendations on your marketing initiatives, any new marketing initiatives to start. And then we often find, there are quite a few either underperforming or conflicting initiatives that needs to be stopped. And then, what is working, and those continue on those things that has been working well, right? So we develop a smart plan for implementing this digital initiatives over the next 90 days. Okay. And so once that is, and then the last thing is, we partner for your support, right? We partner for continuous support through QA sessions and follow-ups. So this is all part of the digital strategy session, right? And to ensure that, you have a plan. At the end of this session, you do have actually a digital strategy report, which includes all your assessment and, and recommendations. So it acts like a playbook for you. Okay. Once this is all right, so we do have a pricing for this. Normally it is $497, but for this webinar we are doing it at $197 as a special offer. Okay. And you saw that it's a very comprehensive, and is the best chance for you to kind of get started on your digital strategy. A little bit about our company. We talked about, I haven't mentioned this, but this is really, the digital restaurant is a digital agency for restaurants, right? And restaurants only, providing really full service and consulting. And as I mentioned before, we are focused on restaurants and restaurants only, because by focusing on building a digital marketing platform for restaurants, we can really optimize it for restaurants and provide the greatest value. Okay. This is a high-level snapshot of how the digital marketing platform looks like. Now, don't need to go into the detail, but as you can see, you do have a very integrated strategy, right? Of the core marketing platform with content, email, loyalty, and SMS, and the customer database. Then you have the tied to the online presence, and then in the customer-facing technologies, we talked about the guest engagement and mobile app for online visitors, right? So this digital marketing platform is really becoming a marketing platform of choice for smaller restaurants with less than 20 units. Here's a testimony, right? Basically, how to efficiently get things done. You don't want to wait 3 to 4 months to get your digital plan up. It will cost you money every day. You don't have an effective digital plan. You're losing out on. So you don't want to do that. So you want to move faster. This is what Tony from the Mexican restaurant mentions here. Okay, so we were able to get their website done in 3 days because it was critical time, and every single day they're not having a website. They were losing a lot of money. So we wanted to get them up and running right away. Okay. To click the button below to sign up for the digital strategy session. So once you sign up, you'll get a confirmation and scheduling information to schedule that strategy session. And our team does a great job in really understanding your business and capturing the information. So when we actually go into the tactical phase of implementing your strategy, right, so you have a very clear plan, and it's not the shotgun approach, right? So clear and with testing, and so that it's work. And I shared with you some of the results we have been getting with the clients, and really they have been very impressive, right? From a conversion standpoint, from a from developing the revenue standpoint. So click the button below to sign up. And we do also have bonuses. So when you sign up, we do offer you a credit voucher for $197. So if you do the math, this digital strategy session is actually for free. Now, this credit voucher can be used for any further services. So after this digital strategy session, should you choose to use further services and any of those further services, so you can apply this as this credit voucher. Okay, so great. With that, pretty much kind of shared those things. Let's see if we do have any questions. I know that through this through the email, some people have responded and really asked the question about, with questions. So let me take a look, and if you do any questions, and I'll be monitoring the chat area as well. Somebody asked that, should I be, Mike, I think Mike's email. Should I buy an email list? And what I'm going to say is, well, my simple answer is no. If you're aware of the CAN-SPAM Act, right, there is like a 16,000 fine. Let me get to the fine later. But really, from an effectiveness standpoint, you want to build your list organically, not buy the list. It's not a good use of your money. And as I was referring to CAN-SPAM Act, you could have a hefty fine as high as $16,000 per instance. So it's not really worth the risk, right? So quality is important to quantity. So we always advise to build it organically, like some of the specific tactics we talked about, engaging with your dining guests online. So those are all organically really building your list, and then that is why you have better quality. And then when you provide the value on top of that, you nurture your customers, and that is where you build the relationship with them. And then any promotions and anything you offer is going to result in a lot of reception than if you appear spammy, right? So the short answer is no. Okay. Great. Another question I got was in terms of engagement, email marketing or social media marketing, where should we be putting the efforts? And I'm going to say that I've heard that email is dead. Well, first of all, email is not dead. It is well and alive. And yes, there have been talks about many years back about email being dead and replaced by instant messaging. But here we are in 2015. Email is alive, not just alive and well, but it's one of the most powerful and effective channels for marketing, which is very cost effective, and pretty much they wake up and check their email literally first thing in the morning on their smartphone. So email is now the question about email marketing or social media. I think it's not an or question. It is actually complementary to each other. Social media is a very indirect channel. It's not the place for directly sending promotions, direct conversions. Email is a place for direct conversions. You can send promotions, and so email is great for conversions, right? So if you can find the balance between, and you should, between email marketing and social media, and when they complement each other, you actually can increase your ROI on your digital ROI, right? So so it is both. Now if you're starting out, if you're starting out new today and you do not have email marketing or social media, then if you're asking the question which is the first thing I should be doing, then our recommendation is to start with email marketing. Hopefully you do have a website, so you should have an email capture, email list, and start capturing email, because with email marketing, delivery rates and open rates are much better when looking at it from a conversion standpoint compared to social media. Okay. Great. Got a question about Groupon. We ran a Groupon in the past. It did not work for us. I could probably do a webinar on Groupon itself, but here is my thought on Groupon. Groupon is another platform, just like any, right? It's a 30 million platform with a mostly young woman demographics. So if your restaurant, your business, target audience is the young woman demographics, Groupon could be potentially a platform where you need to pay attention to and make Groupon marketing work. Now, as far as the specific strategy and tactics around how you should leverage Groupon, there is actually a holistic strategy. If most let me tell you, the most common mistake many restaurants do is just run a Groupon in an isolated manner, and then what it seems to attract is the deal seekers, and they come in, take the deal, and they don't return. As a business owner, you need to have a little holistic strategy around Groupon, so that once you attract the Groupon traffic, what are you doing to actually bring them back? So a way for you to really capture that email address and engage with them so that you can bring them back. So if you're listening to this, I do have actually a Groupon checklist on our website. You can download and see the 7 things you need to have in place so to make your Groupon strategy successful, right? So with that, I'm going to just now finish here. But again, Groupon is a great platform if you can leverage it. But if you are not really paying attention, you can lose money, because you're looking, the deal offered over there is a 50% literally, and then 50% with profit sharing, which ends up being a 25. Restaurant owner is working with a 25% of the menu item to work with. So if you don't have the numbers in place, I've heard many restaurant owners actually end up in the negative side of things, on the and loss on those deals, right? So you want to avoid that. Okay. What else do we have? I guess that's all we have, and we do not have any questions. So I'm actually going to wrap this up right on time. Oh, wow. We are 2 minutes to 4 and right on time. So appreciate everyone joining. And, if you have any questions, you know how to reach us on our website or through our email. And it was a pleasure talking to you all. Thank you.